welcome to a new episode of HypnoMom and Ayla. After so long, we hope you missed us a little bit.
And we missed you.
Yeah, for sure. But that's one of the things, Mom, that you taught me, that you have to make things fun. So we follow a little bit the energy, and we've been focusing on our energy on other things. I want to talk actually about what we did 2 weeks ago.
That is awesome. Let's do that.
That's where the energy goes right now.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, so, right now we're in Dublin. We're at the Irish Hypnosis Convention. It is really awesome. John Scanlon did an amazing job bringing together really high quality speakers. And sorry, John, that we skipped class. We just needed to, ground after all that information. We'll be back soon. And Mom did an awesome presentation yesterday on quantum hypnosis, right?
The light body technique, the going back into the womb and clearing really early imprints. So
Yeah, that was really cool. And so we are now at the Phoenix Park. And it's very close to the hotel where the convention is, and we just thought, let's grab an opportunity to record another HypnoMom and Ayla podcast since it's been so long. And we do have the intention to do it more often. We've been busy with other things. We started something new.
yes,
You want to talk about it in English?
the orientation week.
Yes.
And that is a week. It is in Dutch, but we are planning to bring it in English after a few tests. But that is just for new people who want to enter doing something with hypnosis or hypnotherapy, that they have a week to orient themselves through 3 webinars, through a space in our community where they can see other movies, information, so that they can make a well-informed decision. Where am I going to train with? Is it with us or isn't it with us? That you get to know us. And we had 1 round of this, and it was very, very successful and very appreciated by the participants, because they know what they are stepping into.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's, I think, also a development that we're having, because it's my mom, but some people don't know this, but we live apart. I don't live with my mom anymore. I live in Amsterdam. She lives in the south of the Netherlands. And when I started working with you 7 years ago, I often traveled back home and we would do trainings together.
Yeah.
And now we noticed I have my own space in Amsterdam, and I'm giving trainings by myself in Amsterdam. So we are training in English, by the way.
Yes.
So that's why, if you're curious and you want to orient yourself more on what is hypnosis, and you would really love that we organize this orientation week in English, let us know. Push us, because if you give us energy, we will give it back.
Yes, and the thing is, we can do it over Zoom, and we did it over Zoom. But you see, if you are in such an environment, it asks for a recording, isn't it? So the beautiful nature, it makes us so happy.
It feels better also than to do it over Zoom, and I think we started it in the lockdown time. So so that's why now it's really flowing nicely, and we had an awesome experience. For the listeners who don't know, we are instructors for the OMNI Hypnosis Training Institute, which is a worldwide institute with training locations in different countries. And we are the designated instructors for the Netherlands
and Belgium.
Yeah. And now the head office is located in Switzerland, Winterthur, Switzerland. And 2 to 3 weeks ago, they had a training called OMNI Legacy, which was created in Brazil.
Yes, and now we are a bit in problems, because we are so excited, but we cannot give away too much of the content.
No, that's true. No, but we can talk about our own experience.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
And yeah, the training was given by Gabi Arts, who's from Brazil.
Yes.
And she, yeah, it was amazing. It was really compliments. And
4 days in a row.
yeah, it's a transformation course. So you're really pushed out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Which, well, a lot of people say that's where life happens, where you grow. So I guess you kind of know cognitively that's true, but you tend to avoid it. I don't know. But when you make a conscious choice to do it, yeah, indeed, new things can happen, new pathways can start in your brain. And OMNI Legacy is also about, yeah, starting to create your legacy as a hypnotherapist.
Yes, but you go through a lot of rounds, and we are used to teach. So speaking in front of people is not a big thing for us. But if I speak about myself, talking in front of a camera, and when I'm alone, it's always like, and then I had to start recording again and start recording again. So they removed that blockage in a huge way. So,
well, you did it yourself.
yeah, of course. But the techniques they used, so we went through 9 group sessions of hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
That were so awesome, so special. And each time something special happened. So
yeah.
But the goal is also, and you can also enter this training without being a hypnotherapist.
Oh yeah,
you can be a therapist, a non-therapist. But if you want to remove blockages through which you can express yourself, through which you can feel free to ask money for your products as an energy that is flowing, if you want to know how to set up your marketing materials, how to sell your personal story, how to do presentations, well,
yeah,
it is the training to go.
Yeah, definitely. And for us, yeah, as my mom said, we give a lot of trainings. So we're used to speaking in front of a group, but when you are a trainer or an instructor yourself, well, the last few years I was not a student myself for a long time. So in this course, I was a student, you were a student.
Yeah.
And it also gives you again that experience of how is it to sit in a classroom.
Yes.
And so for us, that was another layer to that, is that we're now rethinking how we teach hypnosis. And
yeah,
it's so we are, yeah, I feel again so much passion for what I do. And on the side of the therapy that I offer, after that, it is now completely shifting for how I do therapy, where I was really working individual sessions. Now I'm moving away from that and start offering individual packages tailored to my clients. And I'm excited because, well, it becomes even more of a collaboration. There's more commitment because, we have a passion for what we do. And so you give a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And there's a huge potential with hypnosis for transformation, but it's not a magic that happens. It is in that collaboration, in that the person is willing, to go out of the comfort zone, to face those heavy, uncomfortable emotions and work through it. And somebody has to be willing and put the commitment. And then, I am already noticing that it's giving new energy to my work. I'm noticing the individual sessions that I'm giving went to a higher level.
Yeah. So we are therapists, so we did a lot of therapy on ourselves. But you see, through the years, you peel away the layers.
Yeah.
And so now we had a beautiful opportunity to once more be more successful in our job, to give even better things to our students, to our clients. So it was an awesome week.
Yeah, and so that's also the second part about rethinking how we do trainings.
Yeah.
And one of the things we took away, what I noticed, is that especially when you're sitting a long time and just getting information, at a certain point, at least for myself, I had difficulty focusing on it, and And that's what Brazil, and that's why I appreciate also the international aspect of Omni, because we can learn, we can enrich ourselves from people who come from different countries or different backgrounds. They bring different elements. And so what the Brazilians really brought for me was energy,
Yes.
emotion, and in the form of, for instance, music, having dance breaks.
Yeah.
And that was, yeah, that worked really well for me. And so we are translating that in how we do the Omni training. Less theory.
Yeah,
of course.
You get the same information, but we found a very clever way of giving it in a better, more understandable way, and faster. So there is so much more time to do other things.
So we're making it more dynamic. So the content is the same, but the way we present it, we made it more, how to say it,
joyful,
joyful,
enriched,
efficient,
and efficient.
And also because when we talk a lot, that's also great that, as a trainer you learn so much because you keep explaining it, and when you start explaining something you start understanding it better. So now we're turning it around. Of course we do the explanation, but we give more moments of practice and consolidation in the brain where the students have to
reconcile the
information. So
but we had an awesome training. So if you look at our ratings, they were very high, but they will now skyrocket.
We already had consistent high ratings for our trainings, but indeed,
but you cannot sit still. If you sit still, and we have so many new techniques, if you don't use that, it's important. So we were very much inspired by the Legacy training. And yes, of course, now we bring that into our hypnotherapy training, and where you have a solid scientific foundation also, because the techniques we use to hypnotize, they are researched by the University of Zurich.
Yes, I was distracted with there were people walking by. Got very curious. The word hypnosis makes people always a little bit like, oh, what's that about? We had a cab driver in Dublin who was like, oh, hypnosis, does it work for this and this and this? And we connected someone to him. So we are, as you might feel from this podcast, we're like really re-inspired after that training. And I also wanted to say something. So it's called OMNI Legacy. And so that was a very important moment for me in that training, where Adrian shared.
He's the CEO of Omni.
He shared a story that he worked with a woman who was in a clinic, I guess. So I don't know what is the condition. It doesn't really matter also. But he did a session with her, and that session made the difference of her being inside the clinic to being outside the clinic with her family at home. And that really landed for me when he said that's legacy. That's the difference of a mom not being home and a mom being home. What a difference does it make for the children? And so I had this misconception, I guess, and maybe it's also of this time, that we have to be bigger and we have to build a legacy and we have to impact everyone. It can feel so overwhelming, like I'm never gonna achieve that. And so that for me was like really beautiful.
It is in the beautiful small things you can do that can, we say sometimes what we can do as an individual is a drop in the ocean. But for the persons who experience it, it can be a hot shower every day.
Oh, beautiful, Mom.
And
so, it's not always in the grand things. And we went for lunch that last day of the training, and I remember we were in a huge table, and the first 2 days of the training, it was therapy, going to the negative emotions, the negative energies, like letting them come to the surface, breaking those blockages. And so the last day was more you know, filling yourself up with positivity and also being connected to something bigger, because as a hypnotherapist you work alone, can be really lonely. So there was this group session about feeling connected also to, you know, a bigger mission. I also don't want to make it to sound too spiritual or anything, but well, I guess, I don't know, especially in the West, we can sometimes be a little bit focused on the individual.
Yeah.
And I think connection is such a deep human need. And for me, that was really filled. So a professional connection of like, of course you have to earn your money. You know, we have to make a living, but that's the beauty of this. You do more than just making a living. You're bringing something good. You know, people become more happy, and people who are happy are also nicer to people around them. So
well, that is the beauty also of the hypnotherapy profession. It is that inherent is that you want to do good. Yeah? So the majority.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can never talk about small percentage of individuals who have other goals. That's in every profession.
Yeah.
But the majority, the large majority of our colleagues just want to do good. And you have so many tools, and you are so powerfully enabled to help people transform their own lives. We never say we do it. I think that's very important to know. We are the guides, we are the helpers. A person has to transform themselves, but we can be awesome guides into that.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. And so the last day of the training, when we were filled with that positivity and we went for lunch and we were on this large table, there was an elderly lady who had her birthday. I think she was in her 80s or something. So the restaurant, they brought a cake for her. I don't know.
Yeah.
But our group was so, you know, open and in that positivity. So we all started singing for her.
Yeah.
And she said that because I went, or somebody else said that she said, I never had so many people sing for me.
Yeah.
Isn't that just beautiful? How you can make like an ordinary moment of like having lunch, you can make it into
a joyful
such a beautiful moment for her. And there's like these micro moments in your day where you can make happiness. And I'm also thinking about something else now. Of this, with our training, in the last day of the training, the students practice regression on each other.
Yeah.
And we call it regression to cause, to find a cause of a negative emotion, a moment in life where that emotion, the person was not able to deal with it. And it's kind of like, then the emotion gets stuck. It keeps on building, and it builds into symptoms like panic attacks or anxiety attacks. And so finding that cause can give a huge relief. So that's the goal. But one student discovered something so beautiful, and that also illustrates this point for me.
Yeah.
She got, I think, I don't know the exact details anymore, but something happened to her where she felt, I guess, helpless or some negative emotion. But there was a stranger that came up to her and helped her. And so after that session, she said, it made me realize that that was a moment where I learned people can be trusted. And think about it, you know, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That can make a difference between a person having that attitude in life versus people are not to be trusted. And how you also feel or position yourself in the world also affects, I guess, how other people respond to you, isn't it? Yeah. So just to inspire you to be a good person, be kind, because you can create a beautiful ripple effect which you don't even know. I mean, that lady probably doesn't know that she had such a positive impact on someone's life, isn't it?
Yes, that's just the way it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, just to say that legacy doesn't have to be big, because speaking for myself, I can get discouraged. Like, I have to build a big legacy, and you know, all these negative beliefs come in. So I guess it's all about keeping it simple, following your heart, following your flow, and just take it step by step, and you never know.
Yeah, and you can just start. You don't need to start with a legacy training. You can start with the hypnosis, hypnotherapy training.
Or you can just start by smiling at someone.
Yes. So there are many options in life.
Yeah.
So I think we can conclude. This is not a very long.
No, but I would, for anybody who made it to the end of the episode, mini challenge. Smile to someone today and see what happens. Open your heart and see what happens. And let us know what happens. That would be nice. Let's create a positive ripple.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ayla.
Thank you, Mom. Let's go back to the convention because there are some talks that I really want to see.
Okay. See you next time.
Bye bye.